everybody, it's Connie and Willie.
Sure is.
This is our second start. We were getting going and then I had to stop.
Let's just face it. She had makeup malfunction and she had to fix it. I mean, I don't ever worry about my makeup. It's fine,
No, yours is always perfect.
I know it's always right.
So, we like to have our conversations, just normal folks having conversations. And we've been thinking a lot lately and kind of talking about what causes a person to believe what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
And, to believe something, really, we have to be persuaded of it.
Yeah. There's something in our life that's influenced it.
It comes by influence and persuasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like to always say, God is the one that persuades us, right?
Right.
But there are other influences as well. And he uses other influences sometimes to persuade us of things. And sometimes those other influences are not good persuasions, right?
It could be really bad, and sometimes
it's just things that we've heard over and over and over.
That's right.
And so what were we talking about a little earlier?
And so that's what we were kind of laughing about. It was kind of funny because I told her, that's just like when I was growing up, we used to be told all the time that you can't eat fish and drink milk at the same time or it'll make you violently sick.
I'm like, I never heard of that. I'm like, are you serious?
I said, it really is a thing. No, it is. And I had to look it up and it was kind of funny where it came from, and it was just kind of really hilarious if you think about it.
But you believe that?
Yeah, it was what everybody told us,
Or like mine, because I chewed bubblegum all the time. Like if you swallow bubblegum, it'll stay in your stomach for like 7 years or for a long, long, long amount of time.
And so we Googled it.
Well, I knew it wasn't true now at this point. It's like, I believe that because I was influenced and told something over and over, so I just believed it.
And just for those skeptics, it says it's digested just like any other thing we eat. It's all good.
But it said, but the paper, the outside's not digestible.
Yeah,
it's like, duh, like we don't know that.
So, it's going to get out of you, but it's probably not the best thing to eat. I'm just saying, don't chew on paper, y'all. Yeah. Which brings another conversation. We'll leave that alone whenever we're talking about wood pulp, but that's another thing.
Okay. Yeah, let's do.
Okay, where were we?
Our conversations, this is what our conversations are like. They go all over the place and they get a little...
Influence. That's what we were talking about. Influence.
Persuasion.
Yeah. So what's influencing you has a great effect on what you believe. And I use the illustration that some people absolutely refuse to use anything but a King James Bible. And is there any biblical context that says do not use anything in the King James Bible? No.
But the King James, yeah.
But the King James Bible. You can't find a scripture that says thou should only use thy King James Bible. You won't find it. It doesn't say
We're not trying to pick on anybody, but people get pretty adamant and can be kind of not nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believe that.
Yeah,
that it's the most accurate translation or whatever it is that they...
And the list goes on into denominational and theological debates.
Right.
And we could mention several of them, and we kind of sat there in private and laughed about it, joking around, but we're not here to pick on people. But I think one of the things that we can definitely say is how we were definitely challenged to challenge our beliefs was back in 2000 when everything was going on, and
2020.
2020.
2000 was a long time ago.
Really long.
The big Y2K scare.
2020. See, that my brain's still stuck on that. It never come back on. The computer in my brain never came back on after 2020. But in 2020, when half the world shut down, churches shut down and stuff like that, we were left with one thing.
But for us, though, it was about 6 months before that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's when we had left pastoring our small little church. So and so we stepped away from going to church for a while. And then we tried to search for some churches, and then that's when then COVID happened.
Right.
So little did we know that it was actually going to be a good thing for us.
Because it challenged us to question some things
Because not only were we questioning the world around us, we started questioning things that we were being told in the churches too.
That's right.
It just kind of all worked together. And it wasn't anything that we necessarily planned. But I think sometimes when you can see something happening around you and how there's all these different narratives going on, and you're supposed to just believe whatever they tell you, and then you hear some things from the churches, and then you start to question, well, what if I've been wrong about some things?
And I think that's, I don't pick on anybody if that's, because that's how we've learned our whole life. In fact of the matter, I had certain beliefs because of the denomination I grew up with that I was hardcore, solid believing in, and it caused me to even question me because of those beliefs. Because there must have been something wrong with me because I couldn't ABC because I just never felt that unction like other people did, And I'm not, like I said, I just think that you get
we get in our denominational boxes. It's it's like it boxes us in, and we don't even realize it.
Right.
And then you get all these fighting because each denomination thinks they have the upper hand on the truth. Then that denomination, it's just, and granted, there's some things that I, probably are more true in some than others, right? But it really shapes what we believe.
I think it can almost be detrimental in our learning process because we can hear something and we say, nah, that can't be true because this is what I've been taught. And then when you go fact checking and really start searching, and the next thing you go like, wait a minute. Then you start what you've been influenced to learn your whole life. You say the word is cognitive dissonance. Dissonance. I can't say that word.
You do have it,
Yeah.
Cognitive dissonance.
And so
when something new, a new truth or a thought comes up against what you believe, there's a friction there, right? At first, you kind of want to reject it. And I think that's normal. We have that when we're learning new things, But then kind of the more you hear something, because that influences us, hearing something over and over and over. And before you know it, we find ourselves believe that's what we believe.
And then if you go, wait a minute, and you start going back and you pull out scriptures and you pull out history and you start doing things and you say, wait a minute, this makes more sense than what I've been told my whole life. And I think that that's a really good place to be, don't you? To start learning. So
yeah, it's not easy at first sometimes.
No.
It isn't, and having to admit that you've been wrong about some things. Things that you've built your whole whole life around, spiritual truths, certain spiritual truths, you thought were true. And then it's like the blinders come off and you see things, it's better, it's clearer, but you still can't believe how you didn't see it before.
Right. And I'm going to pick on me because I've got a lot of years in ministry, and there's probably, if I really did a heart check and I was honest with you, there's some things that I based the ministry I was in and what I taught and what I did was based on things that there's no way I would teach now. There's no way. And,
both of us.
And that kind of shakes you up, and it's even difficult to say it, but those things were based on the influence I'd had over my whole life, building a foundation of something really not, I'm just going to say it, I don't believe it's correct at all, but because I've been ingrained with this thinking my whole life over certain things, you're like, wow. And I already know, Connie, that somebody said, what were those things? There's really no need to really going into all those things. We could go into them, but
Maybe we will eventually, but
Yeah.
and I'm sure we will.
mhm.
There's
But-
lots of things. I can't.
But if you follow Connie enough, and if you read enough of her posts and the videos, you already know where we stand now. So,
And
and
some
that's-
things, yeah.
yeah,
And there's some things you don't talk about because it's just like you're the outcast or not the accepted, it's just like, so, you have conversations with trusted people that don't think you're nuts. I think we should be able to be free to have conversations and question things and,
mhm.
and I view the Bible differently now. I love the Bible, but I also can step back and see it from the lens of who it was written to now.
Right. Mhm.
And I don't have to insert myself into every text now, which helps me make it a lot more sense in some of the things, learning what's for us and what's not. I grew up in a world where you make everything for you,
Right.
where there's some actual history going on and we can actually learn from that and we can learn from their mistakes and we can, and we have to understand the ancient Near East culture and their language and how they spoke, know.
And I'll just go ahead and throw this one out. There's one thing to kind of help people understand. For instance, whenever something bad's happened and we lose somebody, we'd always hear, well, it must have been God's will for them to go now. We don't believe that at all now, do we?
I think circumstances, our choices does that. I mean, God knows when, obviously, but people dying prematurely by drugs, I don't believe that was God.
Mm-mm.
That was man's choice.
A little girl getting...
I mean, accidents
Abused,
happen. This the natural laws and natural physics of this world,
Mm-mm.
and we're not going to pretend we understand it all,
No way.
but we're just so quick to say this is God,
Right.
and we don't really think things through what we're really saying.
Right.
Because we don't know how to deal with things. It's like we just want a good answer to make us feel better. And so what we've heard, we just spew out. And
I think it's the point in a lot of this of what we're just sharing with is what's influencing your life is it really that you've taken time to really research, study, and say, okay, this fits with me? Or is it, well, I've been told it my whole life, so it must be true. I found out that milk and fish does not hurt you. I mean, wow.
And yes, the Spirit of God is influencing us, but He uses all these things. Like and I'm learning how to just let Him be the influence as He's helping me research and search something out. If I'm taking the steps, like a lot of times answers come.
Right.
But I had to take some steps to do that. We want this and we want that, but sometimes we're not willing to move it in our budget in any way. And sometimes just that one little step, He's like, okay, now I can show you because now you're going to get it.
Right.
You're going in that direction. So now I can, but I need you to do something here. I need you to budge a little bit and be willing to rethink and, but He's always leading.
Right.
In some way.
Right.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I think He is. And so why did we actually do this is to just challenge you to take a moment to be open, if nothing else, to hearing new things. That's one of the things that you and I have talked about quite a bit lately is just be willing to be open to learn new things. Don't get tunnel vision when we're talking about an infinite God. I mean, he's bigger than anything.
And we all want to understand. Because we're just people that's how He's designed us. We want understanding. And there are understandings we will get, but there's some things we just won't understand. And as long as we're here.
Nope.
So, and that's the mystery of God.
That's it.
It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you've got a good church, that's, you stay if you're happy and you love the people, but don't be afraid to step away from your denominational, out of the denomination for a while or whatever. It's okay if you don't go to an organized church.
Or challenge your thoughts, at least.
Yeah, you do what you feel is best for you at this moment, right? For us, stepping away was probably the best thing that ever happened, and actually we've never had more freedom now. Yeah, and I just can't listen to some of the things that's just always said, and I say we use our Christianese language. We got our Christianese phrases and we give it to people, and I was just talking about that last night, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what's on our minds this week.
That's it.
Right.
Challenge.
Anything else you want to say?
I just want to toot your horn since you just said something.
Okay.
Last night she did a new experience. She went to a women's prison and she was phenomenal in teaching it. The girls were snotting and crying and laughing and shouting, and they wouldn't stopping and crying because they were sad, but you could see freedom coming out of what she was sharing, and I just want to toot your horn for that. You did a good job, and speaking of changing your thinking, I can remember about 16 years ago where you told me, I am never going to be a teacher.
I'm going to be sitting on that front pew. You're the pastor, and that's it.
Yeah. And she gets an opportunity to speak a whole lot more than I do now, and she does a great job. So.
Yeah, I'm used to the men. It was definitely a little bit different atmosphere.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fun because men and women are different, but I really enjoy the men though too. So I'm happy.
Are you going back?
Yes, I'm going back.
Okay.
I think probably once a month I'll go back.
Okay. You made the commitment.
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the calendar now. So.
Yes.
So.
Thanks for all your encouragement, everybody out there. I appreciate that.
All right.
I was going to say something else. Glad you brought that up, but I don't know. It went out of my head.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we hope you have a great rest of the day, and thanks for just stopping by and listening to us vent, talk.
Yeah.
Little picture into our world. All right.
Have a good day.
You have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.